Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do for you. Oh, I got something for you. Let's do what we do. Rightism, 25 rules live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. We got a good thing going. I appreciate you. Let's do what we do. Right Thinkers mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right Thinkers Way of Life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission, and that's what I'm on, is that all right thinkers know thyself. Right thinkers, your goal is to know thyself. You tune in to get the lessons I put out for you on a daily basis, and you will know thyself. So I ask the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you out with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. I'm gonna wrap up the lesson with the whole last couple of pages of lesson 2 that we're gonna wrap up and head for lesson 3. So I'm gonna cut the clock. I'm gonna cut the clock off and get the lesson. This is the last one for lesson 2. So let's get it out of the way so I can give you some more knowledge. So let's start with right thinkers. Let's talk about what rituals are to prove to you that God are immortal men and men are mortal gods. What the what? That's the philosophy of ancient Egyptians. And when I get done, you should understand what it means. I'm trying to make that known to you. Okay, that's my lesson today. So what I'm really trying to say is, again, all those studies that you have done and still doing, that's me. Now, if you have not uttered the chant of your God or goddess of your choice 10,000 times, yeah, the way it's been explained, 500,000 times, and even 1,000,000 times, if you have not done the rituals, okay, lasting, what's this, for days. That's a ritual that takes days to perform, and the studies and the meditation that will go on for hours, months, and for some even years. And you will not obtain this kind of psychic power. Why? If you don't put in the work, you can't get the benefits. Simple as that. Nobody, you can't buy, cheat, or steal that. You gotta put the work in. Simple. That's why. And you will not have, you cannot attain, this kind of psychic power. When you do that, it increases your power mentally. Watch this. Now it is hard for you to get it, and it should be what? Self-knowledge. It was forbidden at one time for us to read. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? But yet you're doing a kind of ritual when, anyway, as an ordinary human being, on a daily basis, you perform a ritual, okay, that keeps you what? Tied to and caught up in what? The worldly concern. I gotta go make that money, gotta make the donuts, gotta get a job, gotta find this, gotta make sure, gotta do that. That's worldly stuff, okay? So you should do enough of what? Shidi, profound studying over the disciplines of the Kemetic rituals to do what? To break the hold of what? Your worldly rituals. I could have went to a temple and practiced all that nonsense. I got things excuse me, I got things to do. I can't afford that. So I did all my practice right here, okay, in the battlegrounds. And the worldly rituals are what? Your daily bad habits that you indulge in that what? They get you more deeply involved in what? With the world and less involved with what? Spiritual matters. We want everything now. We want to see it, feel it, taste it, touch it. That's the five senses of the body. Spiritual is all up here. Mental is from internal things. Watch this. So when you watching TV, watch this. When you watching television, what you doing? You filling yourself with what? With ideas and energies and reinforcing what? These from what? Day to day. You watch the same thing every day. Well, first of all, it's channeling. I got something about that too. It's programming. Remember old days, TV guy? Yeah, little thing, and tell you what came on TV, what channel, what time. That was our programming. Okay? I got a nice personal assessment thing coming up. I figure out how I want to present it to you. But if I ask you questions, a psychiatrist, he sits you down, he asks you questions, you answer it, and he can gauge by the question he asks, by the question he asks you, and what you answer, what kind of person you are. They've been doing it for centuries. It ain't nothing new, but they got it modernized now. They can feed it to a computer and they can instantly print out everything. Y'all want everything like that. It's not good. So my point is, when you're watching TV, you're filling yourself with ideas, energies, and reinforcing them from what? Day to day. That's a bad routine. That's a bad ritual. I gotta watch my soaps. We got soaps in the daytime. Now we got soaps at night. Entertainment, they keep you what? Glued to that TV to keep you from what? Knowing yourself. If you are watching some X-rated movie, okay, you are aligning yourself with what? Lustful ideas and lustful energies, forces. Again, they have sexual attraction is the strongest force that we have to fight. Understand that. And those who are being drawn to you, watch this, in that part, in that whole concept of lust, those who are being drawn to you is going to be exasperated because that aspect of your personality is on the low side. Watch this. Like attracts like. Perverts, horny, funny, those kind of people. If you walk down the street back in my day, a prostitute dressed looked like a prostitute. Now, you got people look like prostitute, claim they're a prostitute. Well, why you dressing like one? You look like one, like a Jew. Me wearing a yarmulke saying I'm not Jewish. Well, there you got you feel me? So you are what you are. You're going to attract those kind of people. They know who they are. Back in my day, you know where they was at. Okay? Simple. So if you want to be wise, if you want to do the right thing, like I said, I told you that earlier, you are to spend what? Time with her. Get to know her personally. You attract her energies and they will what? Guide you to what? Impel you, employ you to what? And push you for more, to do better. It works the other way around also. There you go. And nothing is ever one way. Okay? My answer to that. So for the negative energies, and watch this, as well as the positive energies, there are functions. They're going to serve you good or bad. Don't make a difference to them. They just function. And if you use them for bad, they're not going to renege. They're going to do their job. So this is why the teachings of the temple of Aset, Isis, y'all know it as, contains the following injunction. It says, this knowledge of the goddess invites us to seek after her. Truth, wisdom, knowledge, intuitive, all these things you should have for yourself. You should chase after those things. I went in search of the truth over 35 years ago, and I found it. Now, I'm just giving it to you. Now, as you go and invite her to seek after her, which is truth, as being near and dwelling continually with her, I don't go nowhere without her set. She's my intuitive wisdom now. So I keep it with me. I keep all my guys with me. Like the sister said, I got all my sisters in me. They got the qualities of each one of them. We all had the same thing. Understand that. Me move on. I see the clock is running. I ain't got too much time. I want to get this out the way. Last lesson. I'm driving home with the ritual and the following up on it and practicing of it. It can go either way. Moving on. Now, if you elevate yourself through spirit, through virtue, and through meditation to the state above what? Your waking state. What happened? You elevate yourself to, they call it the astral plane. We're in the top. That's the astral plane, right? The physical plane. The astral plane where everything becomes mental. When the body's at rest, when you go to sleep, the dream world, that's your astral plane. And once you get control of that, that's what we're about to talk about right now. There are to what? Remain awake and aware. It's called lucid dreaming. I know when I lay down, I already know my mindset is set on what? I'm going to lay down, but I'm going to also still be conscious while I'm laying down. So I control pretty much the dream state. Ain't have a nightmare in so long, can't remember. Why? Because I control the dynamic of my dream. Simple. Now, when you're at peace, you don't have nightmares. Anybody chasing you, jumping off buildings and running from people. I had those nightmares. I know that too. Okay. When I was ignorant. Simple. But watch this. It is important to remain what? Aware all the time. And not just to enter in that astral plane like you go to sleep. So when you're so tired and you just fall out, yeah, because you done exhausted your body. The body needs to rest, but the mind still does what it does. And watch this. But when you enter the astral plane and experiencing whatever happens, because that would change what? The experience from a vision, which is opposite of a dream, where one remains what? Aware. It is in a dream world. And one does not get caught up in what is happenings. And actually, one can control the dream world. Oh man, no, it's a mental thing. And if you aren't mentally strong in advance, you can't do it. You can just think about it, hear about it, but it takes time and practice. But when you get control of the dream world and you can shape it according to what? One's will. In other words, in one's mind, one is the what? Creator. I told you, when you sleep, whatever's in that dream world, you control it. You brought it there. You manipulate it. You use it to your any way you like it. Okay? The people in your dream, whoever they are, a lot of times they faceless. Every now and then, but most time they just face. They're really, vague. But that's because you don't really want to see them. You focus on who you want to see, they'll be there. So you become what? The creator. You're the sustainer. Why? It's in your head. And you become a destroyer also. Hello? You forgot about that? Destroy, create. God does both. In essence, you are what? The all-encompassing divinity, the nurture, the absolute, the master of oneself, your dream. And if you're not aware of being in the dream, you're ignorant of the astral world, astral plane, watch this. Again, through ignorance. And you lose what? Your higher awareness, and one falls from what? From master to what? Servant. And from servant to now you're a slave to what? Your own illusions created by your own design, your own ignorance, fears and desires, weaknesses and delusions. Those are all egoistic sectarian qualities. Again, when you're living on that level, that's not good. Okay? And you won't be in control of no dream state. You won't control nothing that go on when you go to sleep. Why? You ignorant to everything when you woke. So you ain't got no control in the dream world at all. That's why. And this is not to be allowed. Why? Right thinkers. The discipline of the mysteries is designed to what? Stop the reverse and prevent this kind of action. But what? With knowledge. You can't have a problem. Ignorance had a problem. Knowledge, you don't have a problem. The greatest prevention to enlightenment and consciousness is what? Again, the ego, ignorance. For when what? A dark room. Ignorance is the dark room. And when it's lit up with light, what happens? There is no place for what? The darkness, the ignorance, or the delusion and the illusionary state of mind to remain. You have to see what's there. No more I thought, no more, but I thought. No, now you know. Why? The light is on. You can see clearly now. Okay? If your vision is, a little skewed because of your ignorance, if your feelings is a little skewed because of your ignorance, that's the ego. Ego and ignorance go hand in hand. Understand that. And when what happened? The light of knowledge comes on in the mind with aka the dark room. What happened? The dark room is now lit with light, and what there is no place for ignorance to go except disappear. Like the ego self. When it gets, it just go away. It don't have no say so. It's gonna be meek as a lamb until you call on it to do what it do. Okay. So for when you enter that little illuminated, when you get a little light, it's illuminated, right? Or illuminated part of the room or your mind. Just a little bit of knowledge. And there always seems, and with a little bit of knowledge, there always seems to be something other that you don't know because you haven't turned all the lights on. Just a little light. Now, lurking in the what? Darkness. Darkness is ignorance. Darkness is not to know. So whenever you see or hear darkness, that means not knowing something. You're in the dark. You can't see. But in what? In that room, which is your mind, we talking about the mind again, there is only what you have put there. Don't nothing outside you come inside you. Okay, understand that. You put there, it turns out to be what? Again, nothing. Your ego is nothing. You created it from nothing. So when you have, watch this, it turns out to be nothing. When you shine the light of what? Wisdom, knowledge, and then onto the spirit, the aku, on it, what you got. So if you remain awake, purified, and fearless, if you're scared and afraid to die, you're not awoke. Why? Because if you knew yourself, the spirit can die. The body is gone. With knowledge, the body that's going to be gone. But what's inside the body don't die. If you don't know that, that's being ignorant of your higher self. Moving on. So you can have it what? When you reach that level of enlightenment, you can now have a direct, watch this, connect with who? The preceding deities of your choice, the cosmic forces, from one to all. And now what? You can actually converse with them. Picture that. We do it when we talk to God in prayer. Do it when you're talking to the gods of your choice, of your personality. Same quality. Moving on. Now, I ain't got no time limits. I'm not watching the clock. So, if you feel that you are worthy, you put the work in, you ain't the only one who feel that way. Your higher self will recognize your deeds. And they will what? Give you instruction directly. Let your conscience be your guide. Hello? All conscious. I'd rather him lead me than me lead me. But they say, lean not unto your own understanding. I don't do nothing on my own no more. I got God leading me. I'm good now. And this is a popular practice by what? Ordinary people in ancient Egypt. The Egyptians practiced one philosophy in Egypt. And they did that for thousands of years. They didn't need nothing else. Why? If it's working, we're not changing. Oh, you dinosaur. You got to get my... No, I don't. If what I'm doing working for me, I'm done what you do. Okay? New don't mean better. So there was even a practice of what? Watch this. They were so serious. They would sleep in the temples. Why? So as to provoke a meeting with the divinity. They thought the spirit was in the house too. A lot of misconceived concepts. The house ain't where he dwell. He dwell in this house. And the temple that he's in ain't made with human hands. It's up here between the ears. So we really misunderstand the teachings, and those who teach it should teach a little better perspective so they can understand it. I'm sure if all you Bible thumpers got the truth, just the truth, you would flip over backwards. Why? But you believe. When you know, you got two different things going on. So please understand that. And only way you can know is what you got to learn. You got to put the work in. Because if somebody tell you, you just going on what somebody told you. I do my work. If I'm telling it to you, yeah, what? This is what I do. I teach. I do it for that purpose. Moving on. So I'm not here just to know I got a purpose and I'm doing. Where we at? Provoke the meet with divinity. And again, at the temple, in your astral, your mental dream world plane, that's when you lay down, the body's at rest. Now the mind takes on a whole new concept. Why? You're controlling the next level in your mind, the dimension that the physical body can't go to. It's called the astral plane. Of course, watch this. It was then and now recognized what? That the astral plane is the next plane of what? Of existence after the physical life. In the physical plane, but you should not neglect the living sources of wisdom. The sage who can be a conduit for what? Netarian inspirations, teachers. I'm showing you, I'm teaching you, I'm doing what you need to do, showing you how it's done. So you got no excuses. And watch this, just like a jazz musician who can play jazz, or a football player who can play football without thinking about they can improvise. I'm a Gale Sayers fan. They asked him, how would you move like that? Same thing with Barry Sanders. You just feel it. You just know how to do that. That's a God-given talent. Getting to that next. Watch this. And where does that music come from? Where did the talent come from? According to the sage and the saints, you can also be like that with what? With teachings. And as they speak, the words are coming out. Watch this. When I'm here, I read the stuff from the book, but I don't know what's going to come out after I start reading. I don't know what's going to come out when I start engaging, when I start doing what I do. It just flows. That's what they're saying. You don't practice this. What? You just have it. I just go. I'm doing what I do. Watch this. And just like a jazz musician who plays jazz and without thinking about it, improvises. And where does the music come from? The sage and saints says also you can be like that with the teachings. Why? Learning how to speak the words in which are coming out of your mouth that you did not plan to say. My man said, you said some profound stuff. That's what I'm saying. It's up there. Just got to, compartmentalize it and put it out there. And where did these words come from? Here, spontaneity. Spontaneity. This is a similar way in what? This is similar in a way, but not the same as what the concept behind channeling. You got people who go into the trance and they can commune with the higher self and they can talk and say what's going on and do that. That's a psychic power that you can have, a phenomenon that everybody don't have, but some people do. And that's called channeling. But watch this. Now, I'm not a channeler in sense, but watch this. But from a higher perspective, the spiritually developed, advanced person is one who connects with their higher principles and becomes what? One with those principles. Again, there you go. And the channeler, that's what she does. On an even higher level, the sage is what? Connected to the source. I'm connected to the source. Watch this. The transcendental origin of all things, God. Beyond the Bin Bin. Remember the first place he sat, the Bin Bin stone, aka top of the pyramids, to the transcendent being, God. That is a different than channeling. Okay? I give knowledge. I give explanations and reasons and concepts. A challenge just, watch this. Channeling is like you are an individual or a medium. You are like a cellular phone. What the hell you mean? A repeater. And sends it to another. Watch this. The cell phone, your repeater, cell phone station, When you have a cell phone, we all do. A cell phone signal, what? Goes to one antenna, then another antenna boosts it and sends it to another antenna and another, so forth and so on until what? Until it gets to the person where the call is going to. Okay? Now, a sage is not just a repeater. I get the information. That's the pineal gland. Once it's open, it's the receiver for higher knowledge and higher information. So I'm being downloaded information from a higher level. I get that. I don't challenge it. I teach it. Now, I'm not just a repeater, but one with the source. Again, I'm connected. So the words of such a one are, watch this, are to be treated like the source of the divine itself was speaking directly. And I understand that concept. Why? When I'm listening to Sadi Guru, when I'm listening to my teacher Mutar Ashby, it's like God is speaking. Why? I got my attention on what they're saying, and I'm understanding what they're saying. Why? I follow and I understand. That's why. You have to have somebody to teach, to learn from. I'm emulating who I respect and do. Like I say, imitation is the highest form of flattery. I'm imitating my teachers and doing it my way. That's all. One day somebody emulate me. Okay, emulate me. But I get it. But let's go. Almost done. Now, when you are fully developed, spiritually, knowledge of self, nihas, what happens? You are tapped in directly. In other words, there are two ways to do it. Some psychics, they can be very sensitive. And them guys, some of them are just weird, okay, to things. And they can be open to certain things. But, what's this? You can tell what? That they are not wise. Why? They're not wise people. Why? They are not enlightened people. They are just psychics that got extra little sensory powers that they can use. They are susceptible to what? Human error and failings. Okay, they can do a lot of things, but they ain't guaranteed to live, do, and be a virtuous person. Sage, on the other hand, hold themselves accountable to do just that. That's the difference. And they are being what? Given the information, as it were, but since they have not had, watch this is the difference, philosophical training of manifesting what they was told, the information that they got. If they didn't produce it, manifest it, it's just a concept. And they have no philosophical training, and they have not yet what? Developed that level of what? Philosophical mastery of the mind, that they are not living, hello, it or expressing it. If you are not practicing it, if you have not manifested, you don't have it. You can talk all you want, but if you ain't did it, you don't have it. Moving on. That's it. They are not being the source for it. Hello. Finding the source for it where? You ready? Within themselves. Hello. If you're looking for something outside of you, you're looking all the wrong place. Start looking at yourself. They are still, watch this. If you're doing that, I'm telling you right now, you're still operating out of what? Your ego instead of your higher self. I mean, your lower nature still calling the shots. And so this concept, watch this, of the ego self, which have to be controlled, corralled, and put in check, is what? Is the principle for the cosmic forces and the Neteru. This is their preceding teachings. This is what all the rituals are really about. It comes down to this. You ready? That is what all the Kemetic, Netarian writings and philosophy all comes down to. Gods are immortal men. Men are mortal gods. If you can understand that philosophy, that's the ancient Egyptian proverb. With this discipline of which we speak, if it's embodied in a word that has been given to describe this Kemetic philosophy and practice of spiritual disciplines that lead to enlightenment and self-mastery of what? Theurgy, the gods and concept of our sacred science in the art of learning and what? Manipulating, manifesting, and controlling the cosmic forces, aka God and goddesses. Now I'm almost home. This is why human beings can be what? Greater than the cosmic forces. How could that be? Why? Because they can what? Control the cosmic force and exit on all planes, and exist on all planes of existence, symbolized by who? You ready? Haru. At the bottom of the cosmic onomythograph, to Ra at the top. Ra is up here, Haru Earth's down here. Everything in between don't connect. Those are the main thing. You go from one to the other. You are connected to the source. That's what they're showing you and letting you know. Let me wrap it up. We're almost home. So now you got Haru at the bottom of the cosmic chart. Now, as physical human beings, and watch this, as divinities through what? Self-development of what? Your subtler aspects, the principles of their spiritual personalities. A human being who, watch this, who is a sage or saint is in sense what? Higher than gods and goddesses. Again, how? The god and goddesses rule in another world and manage creation for the supreme being. We know that. And so they have their emanations that do their work, subtle energies that course through the universe. And these emanations can be manipulated and what? Harnessed by who? Mortal man. Bam! The force, man and woman, to what? To also do certain work for it. Watch this. Like what? Creating positive vibrations to facilitate a program, influencing others by also what? Changing moods and engendering what? Peaceful conditions but most importantly, creating the energy or force of what? S-A-A, that means understanding. Understanding mellow. Yes, understanding is the best thing you can have in a relationship. Okay, but where we at? Understanding. Having knowledge. Information does not mean having understanding. Why? Understanding is important when studying the mystical philosophy. And the biggest problem I see in religion and a whole bunch of other stuff, misunderstanding and misteaching. Why? Because of the misunderstanding in the person who's studying it. And watch this. When they study in the mystical philosophy, that is certain a form of energy or what? Force that will allow you, the aspirant, to overcome obstacles on the path, like the lack of willpower or self-discipline, to spend time reading or meditating or putting down, you ready? The ego self, so that your intellect may have a chance to work out the mysteries of life. The application of the tree of life disciplines for spiritual evolution may be thought of as a scientific process. That's the truth. Again, your consciousness is spelled from the heart, Conscience. That's the art of science. It's been proven. And wrap it up for you. Again, men are women. Men and women are to become God-like. Well, how? Through a life of virtue and cultivation of your spirit through scientific knowledge, meaning study, learning. It's been proven in daily practice of bodily discipline. I go to the gym every day. I don't practice the yoga position, but I work out every day to keep my body in shape. So I'm conquering mind, body, and soul. Knowledge is far different from sense. The five senses: smelling, seeing, hearing, touching, and tasting. That's what the body does. But watch this. Knowledge is far beyond those senses, for sense are brought about by what? That which has mastery over us. While knowledge is the end of science, and science is what? You ready? God's gift. All science is incorporeal. The instrument it uses being the mind, just as the mind employs the body. That's an ancient Egyptian proverb also. Again, if man and woman is to discover their divinity, what that means? This means that the rule on the lower planes, the planes of matter, the physical plane, and the mental instinct, in the a sense, that is what it means to become Haru while on earth, self-mastery. Haru the Great. That's you being your best self, practicing it for greatness. Hello, watch this. Now, and it's also, this is what it means to be the pharaoh, the king, or the queen. Why? You preside over your world. In the meantime, you are what? A prince. That's what Huru is. He's a prince in the process, or prince or princess. You are aspiring, makes you aspirants, okay? You are aspiring to that position of what? If you discover the higher planes of existence, they also rule the higher planes as well, and the planes of intellect, aka the astral existence. In the upcoming class, we will study more about, my boy, Haru, that's the spirit in you, who is what? King of the world, who to become king or queen of the world. This concludes the lesson. Your goal as a male and female is to become your best self and rule your world from your own perspective. That's knowledge of self, aka knowing thyself, and that's the lesson. 2 is in the books. Appreciate you. And closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100, and may 100 minus a day. So I never know that my right thinkers have passed away. Get ready for lesson 3, chapter 3. In other words, I'll be back. Appreciate you too.